Can Critical Role's Thresher miniseries save Candela? Is one of the biggest names in tabletop gaming shutting down? And can Magic the Gathering save both Hasbro and the future of D&D in these tariff times?
You want answers!
I want the truth!
Welcome to Fantasy News Friday on the Character Sheet, your home for fantasy and TTRPG news. Before we break down big Critical Role and Hasbro news, why not take a second and click on those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep videos like this one coming. And then, let's dive into the news.
Issue number 1 is the first issue we're going to talk about.
Critical Role's cast has always had a soft spot for horror, but their Candela Obscura RPG system and the accompanying monthly Candela campaigns had a hard time connecting with a lot of critters. But yesterday they launched their new Thresher miniseries, and its tweaks on the core Candela system and big Bioshock-style underwater horror vibes are trying to spark a new approach to hook the fans on Critical Role's first TTRPG system. Thresher really leaned into that underwater horror and tension that made games like Bioshock and Soma so popular, with the brand new set for the series being incredibly evocative of those games and also really making the viewer feel like you are in that submarine deep underwater. And the players and GM did a fantastic job, with Jasper William Cartwright providing some interesting tweaks to the Candela system for the new setting, and the Critical Role production team really going above and beyond with not only the green screened new backgrounds, but a ton of new graphics and post-production we normally don't see in a Critical Role actual play. But despite those amazing efforts and great performances from both Jasper and the cast, the actual play had a few major issues going against it, which led to around 28,000 critters having checked it out on Twitch. For comparison, the Humblewood one-shot, which aired on a Tuesday, topped 60,000 views on the platform with far less production involved. But Thresher had to fight against some serious headwinds, as just 10 hours before it went live, Critical Role dropped their amazing Chicago C2E2 live show on Beacon. So many critters may have just not had the time to work in a second Critical Role viewing in one day. And if you have to choose between an unfamiliar horror setting with no main cast members or the entire main cast and Robbie Damon at a live show with huge energy, well, the choice seemed pretty obvious for a lot of critters. It will be interesting to see if the finale next week of the two-part miniseries, which should not have the same accidental counter-programming by Critical Role to fight against, does better. But for now, it once again seems that horror and Candela Obscura are just not quite a natural fit for the Critical Role crowd, at least not yet.
Just come with me. Come on.
CMON, one of the biggest publishers in tabletop gaming and the company behind massive hit games like Zombicide, Massive Darkness, A Song of Ice and Fire the miniature game, and dozens of other big hits, have just revealed that they will effectively be shutting down development of any new games and crowdfunding and conducting a major round of layoffs affecting all creative teams. CMON, who is perhaps the name you think of when you think of games on Kickstarter, having raised nearly $110 million on that platform alone before signing a new deal to exclusively crowdfund on the GameFound platform a little over a year ago, has halted all active Kickstarters and are blaming it all on the uncertainty with tariffs, saying in a statement that, quote, "The industry continues to rapidly evolve, and unpredictable situations like the recent tariffs or COVID just a few years ago present challenges for everyone in board games. With that said, it is our responsibility to take these difficult measures to ensure that we can keep current projects on track and deliver them in a timely manner. We will of course resume new development as soon as possible." However, that same statement revealed that no new game development or crowdfunding for games will continue until trade conditions stabilize, and that could mean years before we see one of the biggest tabletop companies in the world start creating and releasing new projects. And with over $26 million of crowdfunding games currently active before this announcement, like the new God of War board game, it remains unclear which of those projects, if any, will make it to backers in fulfillment given the new announcement.
That's rough, buddy.
In other tariff news, it appears that Hasbro has made so much money off Magic the Gathering in the first quarter of the year that they're actually raising profit projections for the next quarter, despite acknowledging that D&D alone could cost them $10 million in new tariffs, which is just a drop in the bucket to the over $100 million in tariffs the toymaker could face in the coming year. However, Wizards of the Coast had a massively profitable first quarter with nearly a 50% increase in revenue, spurred on almost entirely by Magic the Gathering's recent sets and big pre-orders for the potentially record-breaking Final Fantasy set coming this June. And it turns out that Magic the Gathering has another secret weapon that makes it basically immune to these tariff concerns. Magic the Gathering products are all sourced and produced in Texas, California, or Kyoto, Japan, and not China, so they'll remain largely unaffected by any tariffs. But with D&D staring down the barrel of $10 million or more on tariffs for the new starter sets and some other physical media for the game, this could mean less availability and smaller print runs for physical D&D products, while Wizard pushes more tariff-free digital projects to help make these new raised revenue estimates. But for now at least, it looks like Magic the Gathering is the cash cow keeping Wizards of the Coast and most of Hasbro afloat during these troubled times, at least for now.
Good news, everyone!
And finally, RPG gamers had one of the best weeks in modern memory, as not only has the amazing Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered launched to near universal acclaim, but just 2 days later it was joined by another potential Game of the Year contender that is also racking up amazing reviews in Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The game, which is already sparking Game of the Year talk and piling up the 9 and 9.5 out of 10 reviews from sites like IGN and GameSpot, is a debut game from Sandfall Interactive, which makes its success even more amazing, and it features an absolutely star-studded cast of voice actors as well, featuring huge names like Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil, Andy Serkis, aka the guy who makes us still glad we took swimming lessons.
What? What did he say? Can't swim!
And Final Fantasy XVI's Ben Starr, just to name a few of the amazing cast members. And the game itself not only looks stunning, its storyline is absolutely riveting and heartbreaking, as it's set in a world where a godlike entity, known only as the Paintress, paints a new number every year, always one number lower than the year before, which basically Thanos snaps everyone in the world who is that age. And as that number has gotten down to 33 already, time is running out for humanity, hope is running out, and you are on one of the final expeditions to try and track down and stop the Paintress before she completely wipes out this brutal new world. Also featuring an amazing combat system that is part turn-based and part quick-time event, Clair Obscur, just like Oblivion Remastered, is also available for free right now for Game Pass members. So do yourself a favor and go check it out today. And that's all the stories we have this week on Fantasy News Friday. Let us know what your favorite story was down in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.